Uh, I'm having a bad day today, but I wanna give you guys a kind of a progress report on like I'm getting ready for the races in July, and I want to bring you guys up to date and give you a bit of a progress report. Just this is a bad day. I have good days and bad days. After that heart attack, in fact, I'll just go ahead and give you an update on the heart attack stuff. This is, we're several weeks out. So the bad days are actually caused by the medication. This is all medication related. This stuff is hitting me like a freaking. It's like a freight train coming at you. You know what I mean? Did a number to the immune system, so now I can't. I don't know. I'm having trouble not being sick anymore. I have a couple of good days, and then I'm right back to being sick. And today I'm on the tail end of another stretch of being sick. It's like I don't know. It's like the medication does something with the gut and stuff. It just yeah. The digestive system just isn't there. It's I keep getting sick. Now I did transfer. I'd switched. I am looking to do a lot of weight loss. So I transitioned to where I think I'm at probably 90% of my fluid intake now is purely water. And Friday and Saturday, so today is Sunday. Friday and Saturday, I did nothing but water, and I bet you I drank a half a case of water between those 2 days. And it was almost like the water was going in and the water was not going out. And I ended up feeling just downright awful. I feel like awful right now. The trick is to move. The trick is to keep moving. Once I get up and start walking and moving and stuff, it seems to help a lot, and that's kind of the trick. But the more I sit here, the more awful I feel. Now, as far as the heart is concerned, there doesn't appear to be any permanent damage whatsoever. The tests are back, and they they can't find any permanent damage whatsoever. We've managed to get through the repairs or the stent procedure or whatever quick enough that I'm not going to see any permanent damage, and I just need to improve my health and stuff. It's just I got a year of this medication like this, and it might get they might actually up the dosages. So it feels like it's wreaking havoc on my immune system. Is what it feels like. You know what I mean? There's periods of the day where I'm fine, and then there's periods of the day where I'm awful. And right now, I'm in that like after there's a whole handful of medications I'm taking at once, and I'm at like the peak of when they're all hitting me the hardest. You know what I mean? So that's why I feel like this. In another probably 2 hours, it'll kind of settle down some, and I'll feel a little better. But I'm still not going to be, feeling tip top. This is kind of interfering because I got a lot of projects I need to get done. And when you feel this bad, like I've had the flu and felt better. You know what I mean? So it's like, do you rest or do you keep moving? And it's whenever I'm moving is whenever I feel the best. So I'm trying to keep moving, but it's a struggle. You know what I mean? But right now, it's just battling the medication. That I've talked to the doctor about all this and how horrible it's making me to feel. And again, this is a bad day. There's good days and there's bad days. This is a bad one. This is probably rock bottom bad right here. But in the meantime, I've been trying to keep myself busy, trying to keep my mind off of it. You know what I mean? So I've been doing some work, and I'm gonna flip the camera around, bring you guys up to date on some stuff, because we're getting ready for a race here in July, and we're close. We're real close to being ready. So let me bring you up to date. All right. Here's the Partner 5000. I am sealing the tank. You can see the stuff dripping out of the tank. I'm sealing up that tank. That's the second coat. But we had trouble with the alcohol before, and I had to change out the whole cases and everything. So I decided to just not take any chances, and I'm putting a sealer inside the tank so that the alcohol won't destroy the tank. You know what I mean? It says it's good for alcohol, but the carburetor is modified for nitromethane, so it doesn't say anything about nitromethane, but it says you're good for alcohol, so we're going to find out. And I did figure out the air leak. It was the alignment. This little plastic piece here. There's like a rubber boot between this plastic thingy. Here, let me take this to where that should be better. But there's this plastic thingy. Has a rubber boot between it and the cylinder, and the alignment was just off, just enough to where that was causing my air leak. I probably spent a half hour or so tweaking that alignment and getting it just right. And once I did that, the pressure test has been perfect ever since. So I'd say our air leak issues with this saw have all been fixed. She's testing absolutely perfect right now. So I need to let this dry. It says 48 hours to dry. It'll probably be another week though until I even try to fire it up. Hello, Mr. Chicken. Coming to visit me. But this is the saw I've been telling you I want to build for my 6 cube, and I don't know if I'm going to get that far. I don't know if I'm going to feel like getting into the build. We'll find out here though. I still got another month or so, so we'll see. This is probably going to run into 6 cube. I'd prefer to run it in the 5 cube. This is 5.01 cubic inches. This old home light here, which puts me over the limit, the cutoff point. You know what I mean? I think technically their cutoff point is, what is it, 81.9 cc or something like that. This is 82 cc, 82.1 cc, and their cutoff's like 79 or 80, or I don't know. It's like this is just barely over the cutoff point, so it had to run it in the 6 cube. I wish I could run it in the 5 cube though, and I have the 385 down there. Hello, Mr. Chicken again. I can run that in a 6 cube too. So, you know, we're good there. This is my 3 cube. My Husky 5000. It's a Husqvarna 50 Partner 5000 top end. It just needs put in the wood and leaned out for race day. I've got it fattened up pretty good for cutting firewood. But I could also run the Echo, but I'm not going to. I want to run this one. I wanted to run it last year and I didn't get to, so I want to run it this year, you know. And then both that steel and that Poulan are both 4 cubes. I'm good there. And like I said about the 5 cube, I wish I could run the home light, but I'm probably going to run this 372 that Hopper built for the 5 cube race. Probably. I have the Dalmar as well, but the Dalmar's got an air leak, and I don't know if I'm gonna. I don't know. It's got an air leak. It's got some bugs, I should say. It's got bugs to work out, and I don't think I'm gonna have the bugs all worked out by then. So we'll probably be running that 372. The only other projects is the unlimited classes, which would be this. This would be the 5 cube unlimited. That's a 372 alcohol expansion chamber, you know, all that stuff. And then this Partner, you know, that's my 3 cube unlimited project. So, you know, I have something for every class. I just need to get this guy really sorted out. So, yeah, pretty much most of my projects for the races are done, you know, or I wouldn't say they're done. They're, you know, I got stuff that I can take. It's just the 395 is the only build that I have left to really do from scratch. The rest of them are all like tweaks, you know. like that Husky Partner 5000 top end build, I'd like to tweak on it. My 4-cube pull-in build, I'd like to tweak on it. You know, I have a 372 here that I'd like to tweak on and use it, but I think I'm going to take the Bellhopper 372 instead. You know, my alcohol, my unlimited build 372, tweaks. I want to do tweaks to it. It's not pulling as many RPM as I'd like it to, you know. But everything is running, you know. I'm going to take them. We're not going for first place. We're just going to have fun, you know. That's why we do this. We do this to have fun. It's a whole aspect of building saws and playing with the saws and all that stuff that, I mean, if all you're going to do is build the saw and cut wood with it and everything, sure, but it's a lot more fun when you're part of the community of people, and what better way than to get together and have a little race? You know what I mean? It encourages you to do better. It does. Really encourages you to do better, a lot more so. So, you know, that's kind of why we're always striving to do better. It's like we're always constantly in this little group or clique or whatever, and it keeps us on our toes, I guess you could say. You know, keeps I don't know, I can't explain it. It's that encouragement to get you to continue to do better. You know, if you try to stay in your own little shelter and all that stuff and don't really get involved in everything, you have a tendency to believe one thing, and you never really know until you get out there and see what it's like. You know, show up, go to some races. They charge fees, yes. It's usually like $50 or $60 to enter every single class. It's not a big deal, and it's to help cover the cost of the wood on all the insurance and all that stuff, you know. So, you know, the fees aren't much, but don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to show up at some races and all that stuff. It's a lot of fun. Show up with your stock saws if that's all you got, really. You won't be the only one. You know what I mean? People show up with stock saws. I can remember hearing stories about one year where a guy on a stock 7310 won on that class, even against ported saws. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? It's not like the ported saws are always going to come out on top. There's a lot more to it than just the saw. You gotta have a good chain. You have a good operator. You know, there's a lot of stuff at play there, and a really good chain can make a drastic difference. So, you know what I mean? But for me, as of today, I just figured I'd kind of pop in, give you this little update. I'm all better though, as far as heart attack is concerned. I'm expecting a full recovery and everything. It's just medication. Wow. It's like a ton of bricks. You know what I mean? Muffler came yesterday. He brought me a 372. It looks like an X-Torque 372. I can't say for 100%, but I'm going to say it is because the transfer cap has Allen screws in it. So I'm going to say that's an X-Torque. Yeah. I'm going to say that's an X-Torque 372. He dropped off to give them to me. That'll be a project coming up someday. And he gave me a whole tote full of parts. There's like 350 parts. There's Rancher parts, you know. There's 455 Ranchers and stuff like that. But dropped off a whole bunch of stuff for me and picked up a case of chicken for the event here we're having in July. So don't forget about that. I'd love for everybody to come. You know, the heart attack gave me a new perspective on life, and I'm going to be more open to inviting people into the circle. You know what I mean? I am not the most friendly person. If you ever met me in real world, I have not been the most friendly person. I'm more of the stick to yourself, kind of stay off to the corner, and I'm going to try to change. I'm going to try to open up to people and try to get a little more involved You know what I mean? It just kind of opened my eyes up that there's more to life than just being a grouch in a corner or something. You know, I'm not a grouchy person. I might look like I'm a grouchy person when you see me or whatever, but I'm actually not. I'm just a quiet kind of person who, kind of a loner who sits in the corner, you know, by themselves and keeps their thoughts to themselves and stuff like that. I mean, you can see it on the channel that I don't really express my opinion about a lot of stuff. You know, it's just the way I am, and I want to open up a little more and try to invite more people in to share, you know, experience with and all that stuff. And I think this event here in July is a good opportunity to have more people come in and, you know, share our lives and adventures and stuff. And I think everybody will have a good time, you know. So I hope you come, and if you're interested, send me an email at homelightspinny@gmail.com. So later.